In a world characterized by geopolitical tensions, armed conflicts and threats of war, the fundamental question arises: who really benefits from war policies? Wars are devastating events that leave indelible scars on society and humanity as a whole. These videos will seek to explore the various aspects of how war and the military machinery can influence power dynamics. The first and most obvious aspect of war policies is the devastating effect they have on the truth. Wars are often justified by spreading disinformation and manipulating public perception. Confusion and dishonesty become the norm, and truth is sacrificed on the altar of political and economic interests. Censorship, restriction of the press, and repression of information are common tools used by those seeking to promote war, weakening the foundation of an informed and critical society. In the midst of any war conflict, children are often the most innocent and helpless victims. They become unwitting witnesses to the violence and chaos around them, often suffering physical and psychological trauma that can last a lifetime. Education and healthcare systems collapse, and childhoods are disrupted by the brutal reality of war. Furthermore, children are often exploited as sexual products and become victims of organ and blood trafficking amid the chaos caused by war. War policies tend to generate a state of submission in society. The population, driven by fear, uncertainty and propaganda, often becomes passive and obedient to the decisions made by their political and military leaders. Society accepts draconian security measures, mass surveillance and the erosion of civil liberties in the name of national security. Submission becomes a means of maintaining order, but often at the expense of individual rights and autonomy. Outsized spending on the war machine not only has a devastating human cost, but also drives economic and political objectives. Wars can be a source of profit for the military industry and other related sectors, creating a perverse incentive for the perpetuation of conflicts. Furthermore, international politics is influenced by the search for strategic resources, markets and geopolitical advantages, which can lead to the exploitation of vulnerable populations around the world. One of the darkest aspects of war politics is the corruption and cowardice that often lie at the heart of political decision-making. Politicians seeking support or funding are often tempted to pursue war agendas, even when these are not in the interest of the population's well-being. Corruption can undermine the integrity of democratic institutions and weaken society's trust in its leaders. In summary, war policies can be considered a complex and multifaceted phenomenon that involves the manipulation of the truth, the victimization of the most vulnerable, the submission of society, economic and political objectives, and political corruption. While this article has not named specific countries or parties, it is important to recognize that these dynamics may be present in various situations around the world. Critical reflection on the real benefit of war policies is essential for building a more peaceful and just world. Awakening to the call for a world without war, corruption and fear, dear friends. Family and citizens of the world, today, more than ever, it is urgent that you wake up to the harsh reality. They are a sick society. They find themselves at a critical point in history, where their decisions and actions can determine the path they will take as a civilization.